This used to be the representation of ballet, and this is now how the public perceive it.
Imagine you just paid $20 to go to an open dance class. The girl in front of you starts setting up her camera to film with you in the background. The entire class, you're just worried about whether or not you're in her video, whether or not you're gonna mess up on camera, and the entire internet's gonna make fun of you messing up.
I fear we've lost the plot when it comes to posting ballet content online. You don't know those people, you don't know their history, you don't know whether or not that's a safe thing for them to be online.
I have gotten so much hate in the past for my opinions on ballet core as a former professional ballet dancer. But truly, after seeing yet another one of these, I have some thoughts because at this point, I don't even think it's a thing that they don't know they should hire dancers. I think it's a thing that they're doing on purpose.
I definitely felt the same way when ballet core came into fashion. The Miu Miu flats and all the girls were wearing leg warmers and wrap tops, and I was like, ugh, they don't know ballet. They don't know the real sides of ballet. Screw them. And then, you really think about it and what is there to be mad about? All they're doing is promoting ballet, which is what we need.
We need to talk about the TikTokification of ballet. I've been thinking about doing this video for a while now because in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I want to say, every time I open TikTok or Instagram, there is someone commenting or ranting rather about the way ballet has been shaped and discussed through social media, especially TikTok and Instagram. But for the sake of today's video, we are going to primarily focus on TikTok. I have so many conflicting feelings about this because on one hand, ballet has never been more visible and there's never been a time where people can feel disconnected online, and at the same time, it's been turned to an aesthetic, to a vibe, a costume, and it's almost losing the essence of what ballet is really about. Before anyone gets trigger happy and defensive and start typing away in the comment section, let's have an open and honest conversation about what this is and what this means. So we need to clarify what the TikTokification of ballet actually means. From my understanding, there isn't a formal definition, and it was coined by this person on TikTok. I will share my opinions at the end, but what I mean when I say the TikTokification of ballet, it's not necessarily ballet on TikTok. What I mean is the way ballet is reduced to pink tights, pretty outfits, and ridiculous amount of turns. It's being reduced to an aesthetic and how you view ballet because of how you look. Ever since the ballet core trend blew up, there's been so much discourse around reducing ballet to the aesthetics. And I'm sure we've seen endless videos of people getting dressed up and taking aspects of ballet that they enjoy in their everyday life, even if they don't participate in ballet or dance in any shape or form. And I want to make it clear, the issue isn't necessarily the aesthetics, but what ballet is being reduced to. Yes, ballet is a sport, it's also an art form, so it's always been beautiful. But the issue is when the story is primarily focused on how beautiful it is and nothing else. One of the issues that people have spoken about is hiring people who are models but not dancers in any shape or form for ballet-based photo shoots. This isn't about bodies or the way certain people look, it's about skill and how and where that's being utilized. At the end of the day, ballet is beautiful and it requires so much discipline. So when brands are using models for ballet shoots, it can feel very disheartening and almost making a mockery of what ballet is really about. We've all seen those model shoots where people who have absolutely no business wearing pointe shoes are wearing them. And one, not only is it unsafe, but two, it sends the message that ballet is something you wear and not necessarily something that you do or embody as a person. And it's not as if we don't have dancers who are more than capable of being part of these modeling shoots. That's the part people really get angry about. Instead of hiring actual professional dancers or people who know how to dance, even if they aren't necessarily a professional, why not make use of them instead of somebody who has absolutely no idea what they're doing? And I think it's a responsibility of the brand more than the individual, because the individual gets all the blame and all the slack when really it's the people who put them in that position in the first place. And most importantly, the issue people have with ballet core is that it erases how difficult ballet is, the amount of effort people put into training, devoting and dedicating their lives to this art form. Ballet core doesn't show the true gritty side of ballet as an industry, the pain, the slow progress and how repetitive it can feel. And I know for myself, as an adult ballet dancer, watching people on TikTok reduce ballet to just the aesthetics or just the amount of turns you can do, how high your leg can go in an arabesque, it can make beginners feel like there's no point in trying ballet if this is the only representation of what ballet looks like. It can really put a damper on like expectations you have for yourself and whether or not there's a space for you in the ballet community, even as an adult or a beginner. This links on to my second point, is that TikTok rewards this effortless portrayal of ballet. Short 30-second clips, clean lines, everything looks perfect, and that's the whole story. So again, as somebody who started ballet as an adult, when you're only exposed to the perfect lines and the impossibly high arches and amazing turnout, it can really feel discouraging, and I can only imagine what it's like for students or pre-professionals who are also being exposed to that side of ballet online. And I know this is a wider issue with social media, not just ballet, but there's hardly any representation of what that difficulty can look like, the repetition, the flaws that are made, and that is truly the essence of ballet. It's striving for perfection, not just perfection itself. We also need to talk about the controversies around filming in class. Now, I might sound like a hypocrite because I'm somebody who films in class, and I've been doing that since I started posting ballet content online. But before I share my personal opinion on this, I will share what people have been saying online about this topic. Ballet classes are shared space. It's vulnerable. If you're a new beginner, if you're an adult dancer, even if you are professional, it's still an open space for people to feel safe to move their bodies without the worry of a camera or potentially being posted online. For a lot of people, it's seen as unethical and poor ballet etiquette to film in class without gaining consent, or at least covering people's faces. Because to be honest, not everybody wants to be online, and that's their right. And there's also a power dynamic between the person filming and the people in the background being filmed. They don't have any control about how they're portrayed and whether or not they want people potentially commenting on their technique and how they look, especially in adult spaces where a lot of people maybe don't have the highest extensions, maybe they have different body shapes and body sizes. There has been a recent controversy with a particular TikToker who I will not be naming, but if you're on TikTok and follow a lot of ballet content, you most likely know who I'm talking about. There was issues with how this individual responded to the backlash around the issues of filming in a class. I know that at the start of my ballet journey, I would have felt so uncomfortable if I found myself in the background of somebody else's TikTok or Instagram or whatever social media page it is, and I was awkward, I was clunky, I'm learning. That would just make me feel so self-conscious. The difficulty is that, like I said, I'm somebody who creates content online, and I very much film in class, I film studios, I film rehearsals, which you can easily see throughout my channel. And something you will notice that there are certain classes where I blur people's faces, or I make sure no one is in the background if I'm not able to blur people's faces. And there are some places where I do neither. I go to ballet 3 to 4 times a week. I'm going to stick with 3 because those are my more consistent ballet classes. So 2 of the classes that I go to belong to one school. I go on Monday and I go on Thursday. That class, I did have to ask for consent because I think that's just a given. And I got consent from my teachers and from the studio or the school to film in class. And the people in the room are not the most comfortable with being filmed or being shown online. Which is why I will either place my phone at the back of the class, so I will stand at the end of the bar where there's little to no people behind me, or I will blur their faces out, which is something that people have shared that they're comfortable with as long as their face is not visible and in the background. It's tedious, it takes time, it's hard to like blur people's faces out, or the way that I'm doing it actually, it's manual, especially because you're moving a lot, people are turning around, you have to keep adjusting the blur, making sure that it actually covers people's faces. But at the end of the day, if I want to film in class, I'm not alone, and I also want to respect people's privacies and things that they've shared with me, what they're comfortable with, what their boundaries are. I need to meet them, or I just won't film in class. Simple as that. And with these 2 particular classes, I do not film in center. It's just way too complicated to get my phone propped up and then try to make sure I'm the only person in the frame, because at one point I could be on this side of the room and then 5 minutes later I'm on the other side and somebody else is in the frame. And I just think it's not worth the hassle of trying to get content just for the sake of content when I know that I can't guarantee that I can keep people anonymous and private from the internet. The other place I go to on Saturdays, the 3rd place I go to, is where I have my ballet rehearsals. That place, I do not blur anyone out. The reason being, it's a performing company. So everyone in that class is used to being online, they're used to being on social media. It's an adult ballet performing company, and they post content from our rehearsals, from the shows, on their social media pages as well. That's why I was able to film them in one of my Swan Lake rehearsal videos, because most people in that room are comfortable with being online. And some of them even have their own ballet accounts, which I will share at the top here. So you can give them a follow. It's a lovely community of people. There are ways to film in class if you really want to do it, whether it's to post, whether it's just to keep for yourself. Firstly, get consent from the studio or the school that you're at. Let the class know that you will be filming, and if you plan on posting online, and if the atmosphere or people have said they're not comfortable with being online, ask if it's okay to blur their faces, or to make it much easier for yourself, stand at the very back of the bar where no one is in the background, so you don't have to worry about that. And most importantly, get to class a little bit earlier so you're not disturbing the flow of the class by propping up your phone. And please use a phone, do not bring a camera unless they specify that's okay. A camera just feels a little bit too invasive and disruptive in my opinion. And if it's at the end of the day they say they do not feel comfortable with any of those options, you have to respect that and move along. You can film yourself at home, you can rent a private studio and record yourself then. But you need to respect people's boundaries. But you know what? Social media and ballet is not all doom and gloom. I've spoken a lot about the negative aspects of it. And people argue, myself included, that there are many benefits to ballet being showcased on social media, even if it is through superficial means. For starters, we've seen a huge community of adult dancers online, and I know for myself, I've never felt more welcomed in ballet, which is often gate-kept and not accessible for most people. Whether it's people posting vlogs, whether it's people posting tips, whether it's the superficial aesthetic sides of ballet, whether it's people on YouTube posting ballet classes and follow along with me bar exercises, which I absolutely find so wonderful that people have the accessibility to ballet never seen before. People also argue that it welcomes more people to join, whether or not they are a beginner or they are retired or they used to do ballet as a child. Ballet is seen as a dying art form for lots of people, and potentially this is a way to revive ballet. And it may not necessarily mean people are going to classes, but it could contribute to people engaging in ballet, whether it's going to shows and donating or even just liking content that's about ballet online. Another benefit of ballet being so exposed online is that we get to see so much more different types of people. We get to see diversity, people from different backgrounds, body shapes, ages. It's truly revolutionary what ballet has been like online. And another part is that studios can gain more visibility, so there are some ballet companies that will post on their social medias, like the one that I perform at. A lot of the time ballet is confined to the top 3 or the top 4 ballet schools, and now with social media, all different sizes of studios and companies and schools can showcase and spread awareness about what they can offer to people. I know for myself that watching ballet YouTubers has really helped me feel more confident and pushed to start ballet, because again, like, it's such a gate-kept community. We only see a version of ballet, whether it's on social media or not. We all have a perception of what a ballerina is supposed to look like, and seeing people post and share, it does make it feel less far away, in my personal opinion. And about the whole ballet core trend, I personally don't see that much of an issue with it. If people want to take the pinks and the pretty parts of ballet, if that's how they want to engage in it, I don't see an issue with that. Because at the end of the day, ballet fashion is really cool. Whether it's the slouchy, what's that guy's name again? Adam Sandler aesthetic, whether it's the more polished pink typical look, I just think it's amazing. Ballet fashion is beautiful, all different forms of it, and you can wear ballet fashion outside of the studio. Like, I love wearing leg warmers with my boots in the winter time. I don't really wear my ballet tights and leotards outside of the studio. I like to have the space for that specific environment. But I think it's great people are taking aspects of ballet fashion. It's fun, it's experimental, people having ballet necklaces, ballet pouches. I think it's great in that way. So there is a benefit and positive to having ballet being TikTokified. You know what I mean. All in all, I'm not saying that ballet shouldn't evolve, that there should be no ballet visibility or presence in social media. What I'm really asking for is the balance. So show the beauty and show the hard work. Show the outfit and show the classes. Show the aesthetic and show the effort. Not just one side of the coin. Because ballet deserves honesty, not just pretty aesthetics. If you're an adult dancer or if you're hesitant to start ballet and you feel demoralized because you don't fit the ballet core aesthetic, throw that out of the window and just put yourself out there, because you are not the problem. The problem is how we have commodified ballet online. Ballet is for everyone. As long as your body allows you to try it, give yourself the opportunity to do so. It's bigger than the aesthetic, and if you love ballet, be radical, be passionate, and just do it. So to conclude, context matters, consent matters. Ballet can be aesthetic and difficult, and all creators have responsibility with how we portray ballet online, whether or not you want to acknowledge that. I really want to have a conversation about this with you guys, not just my opinions and what I've observed. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and I hope we can have a healthy conversation in the comment section. 1. Is ballet becoming too aesthetic? 2. Where should the line be with filming in class? And 3. Has social media helped or hurt ballet in your experience? Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay tuned for more ballet content and vlogs. Goodbye.